Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We appreciate being a part of your life and being invited into your day. It is such a joy to be able to help our colleagues to bring value to their patients and to help you strengthen and grow your business. Join us at optometricmanagementeducation.com, where you can learn more about all of the other services we provide. We have a subscription service that you can be a part of, where you can learn and teach your team from the courses that we've recorded on all of the topics that are relevant to your success. We also have consulting services. And right now, if you give us a call, schedule a call with me, I'll be happy to talk to you about what we can do to help you grow your business one-on-one. Welcome back, everyone. We're excited to be here again with you to go to really episode 3, I think we're on now, in 10 ways to recession-proof your practice. Hopefully you found it fun and interesting and a good way to spend 15 minutes of your time. And now we're really excited to go to number 3 on this list. All right. So David, by the way, in case you guys didn't know, David's the guy that pays the bills in our office. So vendors, if our bills are ever late, it's his fault.
Oh,
but
there you go.
That they shouldn't be. Payments should be on time. That's always a good practice. David's also a patient, and he gets to hear me talk all the time about what the challenges are in the practice. And I think the other thing too about us that's unique sometimes, and I think I see this happening more and more in our world and across the country in other businesses as well, is that we both go to most every event together. We go to every meeting together. So he hears what's going on in the industry just the same as I do, but you come at things from a different viewpoint. So I wanted everybody to hear that so that they understand your responses are going to be very, I pay the bills.
Right.
So are you sure about this, April?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if that machine makes sense right now. How about that?
Right. And that's okay.
That's a common response.
And I like it when you do that because David brings me back to understanding, even though I want everything right now.
Yeah, who doesn't?
May not be able to have everything right now. Okay, so number 3, you ready?
Yeah.
Number 3 is spend time and money on your optical.
On the optical, yeah.
So some of you that are listening don't have an optical, but maybe one day you will. So definitely listen to this. And again, we always tell patients and that we're talking to that we do what we do because we want for you to be able to be happy and we want to have what we need in our practice for you. But we also tell doctors we don't always have it perfect.
No.
And we definitely did not have it figured out early on. So a lot of this is based on 28 years of learning. And of those 28, how many have we owned our own practice, including an optical? Let's see,
including an optical?
Yes.
23.
All right. So 23 years is a lot. We've definitely grown the practice. Every year has been better. And 2022 was the best year we had. And I can tell you January of 2023 was the best month we've ever had.
Yeah.
So I think that we speak from a little bit of experience when we tell you that your optical matters and it matters to your patients.
Yeah.
We have changed our entire business model over the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily because of anything negative. It's because we continue to change based on what our patients said they wanted.
Right.
But let me give you a few statistics. I want to compare this to other businesses. So if we were in the restaurant business, unless things have changed a lot, in the restaurant business, their net profit on what they do. So you spend, let's say, just to make numbers clean, you spend $100 on your meal tonight when you go out to eat. How much of that is actually ever going to go in the pocket of the owner?
Isn't it about 5%?
About 5%. So when you turn back and tell them you didn't like your food and you send it back, they pretty much made nothing that night on your meal on your bill. And so I don't know how they make any money, honestly. I look at the business model and I'm just glad that there's restaurants open. But I try to be a very good patron and a very good customer and appreciate the fact that people work really hard.
It is hard work.
Yeah, so there's one business. Now, let's look at our business. And our business is all over the place. It depends on how good you are running your business. But in the world of optometry, if all is going well, and you're managing your money well, and you are buying in a way that is beneficial to the practice, maybe maybe.
And you're selling what you're buying.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of
Not
maybes.
equipment, but
And you're not
goods.
over spending in any area of your practice. Your profitability on $100 spent might be 20%. Now, there's a lot of maybes there. The maybes are all about the fact that it depends on what you buy. It depends on how much you have in back stock. It depends on, like you heard David say at the very beginning, are you overspending on technology? It depends on a lot of things. And so you have to be watching your numbers closely. But the reason I say that a way to recession-proof your business and your practice is to spend time and money on your optical is because the time piece is about exactly what I just said. You want to make sure that you're purchasing wisely. So don't spend too much when you're buying. And the only way I can explain that is a whole nother segment. You can see that course actually on our website. If you subscribe to the website, we have a whole segment on how to purchase. But it's not just on how to purchase, it's on what to purchase. We are excited to have CooperVision as a sponsor of our podcast. CooperVision is one of the world's leading contact lens manufacturers, and they serve eye care professionals and patients in over 130 countries. Their innovative products help millions of patients see every single day. One of the technologies and innovations that we love the most about CooperVision is their groundbreaking technology in soft contact lenses that helps to slow the progression of myopia in children 8 to 12 years old at the initiation of treatment. So do you remember in the old days when we first started in business owning an optical? Our strategy was a little different. Do you remember what kind of encouraged us to move into understanding patients more? Remember a specific patient?
Oh, yeah.
So we had a patient. I love her to this day. I'm so glad, number one, that she spoke to us about it.
Right.
And I'm glad that we asked.
Yeah.
And then I'm glad that we responded.
Right.
So she comes in one day and we were taking care of her for contact lenses. And she was super excited about what we did in the practice. She loved
She loved the exam. She loved everything we did with technology.
So she comes
exam.
in one day and I noticed every time she came in, she would buy her contact lenses. She would come in for her exams. If anything was wrong with her medically, she'd come in and we'd take care of her medical needs for her eyes. But she never purchased glasses from us. And this is 15 years ago?
Yeah.
And one day she came in and she was just raving about us. I love you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Please, please don't ever shut your practice down. And I thanked her, but then I leaned back. Here, I can't do it again. I don't want to get away from the microphone. But I leaned back and I got brave and I said, hey, can you tell me, and I said her name, which we won't say on camera, can you tell me why you never buy glasses from us? And I said, if you love us so much, and I didn't know enough to shut my mouth and listen and wait for her to respond. So I kept talking. I said, if you love us so much, why don't you buy glasses from us? And she was nice enough to be honest with us. And she said straight up, Dr. Jasper, I think you're fabulous. And I love this place and all your staff, but you have nothing in here that I find attractive. And I didn't even know what to say.
We didn't have we just had common stuff. It wasn't like it was stuff that was really low end. It was just not high end stuff. She was wanting high end.
It wasn't what she wanted. And I think to your point, David, it goes back to number 2 in recession proofing your practice is getting to know your patient.
Right.
Obviously, we did not know our patients very well because we didn't
Right.
have the products they wanted. So here we have patients coming in, and I always tell people in business that you have exactly the customer that you've created. If you don't like your customers, that's because you're doing something wrong, because you're getting the customers and the patients in your door that you are creating. And so let me say that again, because I think that's important. You are creating the customers that are coming into your practice. You're attracting exactly what you're doing on purpose. And the reason that sometimes that doesn't seem real is because we don't see that our actions are creating that reaction. So when we go back to our story, so here's this patient. I asked her, why are you not buying any glasses from us back 15 years ago? She said, you don't have anything I want. I about fainted and passed out right there. And then I stopped myself again and said, okay, what is it you would want? And she starts naming some brands that we didn't have. I think she gave me 5 options right then and there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I was brave once more. And I said, so are you telling me that if I brought in that frame line, that you would come back and purchase from me? Because you realize I can't just go get what you want. I have to invest in a bunch of what you want. And I then have to sell that. So do you think other people are going to want that too? She said, absolutely. And how many do you need me to buy to help you with that setup? Because I'll come back and do it. And to be fair, we brought those in. She bought exactly what she needed to do, what I told her she needed for me to pay for my investment. And we continue to carry that frame line today.
Oh, yeah.
The one we brought in.
Yep.
And we've brought in more.
Very successful with it.
And so what's really interesting is I realized at that moment that not only did I not know my patients very well, I didn't really know my business very well. I didn't know much about optical, and we had a lot to learn. So we set on a path of understanding how to have an optical, we call it now our optical boutique, that patients will enjoy, that they go in and they actually have fun shopping, and they can have products that are new, that are innovative, that make them look amazing. Because another thing we say often, your face is a work of art, and every face deserves a great frame. And when you think about it that way, and you think about where we are today and how our optical has changed so much, it's fun now to have people come in. It's fun to have them shop. It's fun to bring in new brands. And the only way we know to do that is by getting to know our patients.
Right.
So why should we care though? I think let's go back to some numbers again. Well, in most optometry practices, 40 to 50% of your revenue is in eyeglass sales. The other half of your revenue is going to be in medical care,
right,
or the care of the patient. And so if you're thinking about it as a business strategy, it makes a whole lot of sense that if that's where half of your revenue is going to come from, then you should spend some time on it.
Better take care of it.
Yes. And then we go back to getting to know your patient. I always say, and this is a term this is a statement from me. I made this up, didn't take it from anyone else. So you can like it or not like it, but hopefully it helps you. The effective patient management from the examination to the purchase of their eyewear can have a tremendous impact on the finances of the practice. So let me say it again. Effective patient management from the examination to the purchase of their eyewear can have a tremendous impact on the finances of the practice. Now, let me translate that. So if you know your patient, if you get to know them, they know that you care about them, go back to the 6 steps of distinction. And what were they again? You know your mission and vision. You know exactly that the atmosphere you've created in your practice, the music, the sounds, the smell, everything about it, the look is something that reflects that vision. Now you are efficient. You get patients in and out, respecting their time. Your results are accurate. They have the best eyewear ever because they can actually see with them. And you provide great products that they can see with. Remember, the next one was accuracy. So accuracy and then empathy. If your patients know you care about them, then they're going to listen. They're going to trust you.
Yep.
And they're going to spend money with you.
Yeah.
And so I have to get to know them. I have to follow those steps. And that is going to make a tremendous difference in how they perceive our optical and their desire to spend money.
If you suffer from dry, scratchy, irritated eyes, the problem may actually stem from your eyelids. Cleansing eyelids daily is essential for maintaining healthy eyes, which is why doctors recommend OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy Eyelid Cleanser. New OcuSoft Lid Scrub Allergy removes oil, pollen, and other contaminants from your eyelids to effectively reduce redness, irritation, and itching caused by seasonal allergies. These pre-moistened wipes are easy to use, on the go, or at home. Simply wipe and leave on. As the industry standard of care, OcuSoft has a full line of eyelid cleansers for various conditions. Available through eye care professionals, most retail outlets, and Amazon.com. Visit OcuSoft.com for more details.
Your patients come in wanting to spend money with you, but they're waiting for you to give them a reason to buy. And I think it's a very simple statement. It's very simple in the fact that they want to do something different. They want to create a good look. Sometimes the reason is different than another. When you get new glasses, typically why? What's your reason? It could be all different reasons. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just it's more function for me.
But you like to look good.
Yeah, of course. Everybody wants to look good, but I know I have people around me, you and others, that can help me look good. So I'm not worried about that.
Right.
I go in because I want to be able to see perfectly.
Yeah. What symptoms do you have when you know it's time? Because you're really good. David will tell me, I kid you not, this guy's nuts. He knows when his prescription's changed a quarter of a diopter, he's complaining to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And every time he's right. But what are your symptoms? What do you experience?
Headaches. I get a lot of headaches. Easily.
And you know, I've seen papers written by other doctors that say that headaches and vision are not at all correlated. I cannot believe I even see that ever in print. It's happened. It is so true for me. I get headaches when my eyes get dry. I mean, it's incredible the way our bodies can speak to us.
Yeah, mine aren't dry yet, thank goodness.
You'll never be there. All right, so spend time and money on your optical. And so in the last few minutes, we really didn't even cover this in any way as much as we could have. But when I say spend money, I guess what we're referring to there is spend money bringing in the frame lines your patients want, but also spend money having enough of what they want. So if we use a specific example, let's talk about something Dave likes. Okay, so you're a cyclist. What type of store would you want to go to look at bicycles when it's time to buy a new one?
Somebody that has some stock.
Yeah.
How about that?
1, 2? Is that enough?
No, I want to have several brands, and I want different models in each brand.
And what do you want your the customer service employees, let's call them that? What impresses you about them? What makes a good one? Salesperson.
I think somebody that's done it. I mean, obviously somebody that's ridden for a long time and has a lot of experience and knows the pitfalls.
Yeah.
Knows how to service the tires, what lights are going to be best, what GPS works well with what. And I mean, you just have all kinds of things that work together. A lot of people don't know that stuff, but when you're in it and day in, day out, and you're hours and hours on a bicycle or whatever you're doing, you want somebody that does that and knows that.
And do you want them to get to know what you want in a bike?
Absolutely. Yeah. And whether it's what you can kind of play them, right? You kind of play off what they're doing. You kind of see how they act towards a bike, the way you would act towards a bike in a way.
Like how? I don't understand. Obviously, I'm not a cyclist.
Well, I mean, so how do they like to ride? Do they like to ride for long distances, long times?
Okay.
What kind of seat are they going to want? What kind of pedals are they going to want? Do they like to be, locked in? Some people don't want to be locked in.
And you look at them too to see what they look like,
right? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, you just got to feel it. You can't help it. Yeah, you need to see yourself too, because that helps. I mean, a lot of people, the fitters, they'll show you. You'll have a mirror, so you can actually see how your body's responding on the bike.
Wow.
And you can feel it.
I love it. I love looking at other businesses. And when you look at that, and every one of us, anyone listening to us today, whether you're an optometrist, whether you're a patient, whether you're an engineer, it doesn't matter who you are. Right. When you go into a business, you want to know that they care about you.
Yep.
You care about what their mission, vision is, exactly what they're in business to do. You can tell as soon as you walk in, I love this place. But then you're going to judge them as well based on their knowledge level.
Absolutely. About the products that they're selling?
Yep.
100%.
And if they're selling products, you want to know that they have enough for you to buy. And I'm not going to buy product. Another thing I think when you think of spending money, and I know I'm keeping you guys late on this one, but when you're spending money in an optical as a patient, you want to spend money on something you know is going to last. My reputation is on the line. And so when David and I invest in product for our practice, we invest in product with partners that are going to support us in supporting our patients. And I think that's very important too. I wouldn't have anything in my practice to sell to somebody that I wouldn't buy myself.
And don't use ourselves.
Exactly. And don't feel comfortable with the fact that if my patient has a problem, I can take care of it. And the person I bought this product from is going to take care of me. So that's the other thing. I want to have something that's stylish. Patients do care about how they see.
Yep.
And they care about how they look. I want to spend money on having enough of something so that I have the sizes, the shapes, the colors that are important to patients. And when it's time to say, no, I don't want this line anymore because the vendor's not taking care of me, so they're not going to take care of the patient, then we know it's time to cut that path, sever that relationship and move on to something else. So number 3 in 10 ways to recession-proof your practice was Spend time and money on your optical, and you'll see more on this topic in our subscription website where we have videos that we've created on this to help train your team. Thank you guys. We look forward to spending time with you next on number 4.